I'm just a lazy video gamer, even too lazy to make a new intro. Hello out there in Witherland, it's me again, the lazy video gamer, and today I have a little fireside chat episode for you. Or just a little fireside chat episode for you, cause the end of the first season is near, and I know most YouTubers, pro YouTubers, when Christmas is coming, when the high top games are announced, they're turning on and they publish video after video. Not in my case, I'm a regular person and I want to have some time for play some games. In this year it's very special cause I don't finish the season this early to play more games. Maybe you realize that the theme song is sang by myself and played by myself. It's a little hobby of me or of mine that I get once in the year back on the stage, cause there's no business like show business, and I'll do my little concert. But before that starts, I just want to talk about some games that I liked to play back in this year and really was looking forward in some case, or even were, let me say, a surprise for me. As you maybe see, I'm wearing today a very special t-shirt. It's a Pikmin shirt, and yes, I played it all. Except for Pikmin, the 3DS version of Pikmin. I played, of course, Pikmin 3 to get right into the mood for Pikmin 4, and waited till Pikmin 1 and 2 arrived in physical form on the Switch. Yeah, what should I say about the game if you're not familiar with it? When it was first released on the GameCube, I was very skeptic and I never bought it. If I remember correct, I got one on the Nintendo Wii with the new Play control, but yeah, okay, I maybe touched it. I really got on fire with this franchise with Pikmin 3. Then, of course, back to the roots, playing Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. Also a game who grabs my attention. It was released last year, if I remember correct. Or do I play so much games that I can't remember when Shredder's Revenge was released? It's, in my opinion, the best Turtles game since the Hyperstone heist. Made it a lot of fun. It's a cool side-scroll beat-em-up in tradition of the old-fashioned games. Yes, I also played, of course, the Cowabunga collection. Or let me say, I bought it and I smelled a little bit of the air of the game, as we would say. I bought it especially to play it on the go, arcade games, and of course my first and my favorite Fall of the Full Clan of the Game Boy. The old Game Boy. It was back in the day when I played this game. I finished it. It wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy. It had not that many levels, but it was a cool fun. Also cool fun back in the day, but too expensive for me when the game was released, was Samba de Amigo. I bought a game for $300 with the maracas, with this rattles controllers, were too expensive. So I never bought the original on the Dreamcast, and I had in the PlayStation 2 era the Sega Classics game, or the Sega iToy collection with some Sega franchises, and Samba de Amigo was one who was playable with the simple movement recognition controls. So I looked very forward to this game, and I got it almost fresh in my hands, so I only played it once or twice, and going through the song list, and yeah, even for me there's a song to play. What I really was surprised and a little bit excited about is that the sequel of a game, of the movies or of the childhood heroes from us Europeans, going to the next round. And I'm talking, of course, of the sadly missed Mr. Pedrone, and still alive. I only know the on-stage name, Terence Hill. I'm talking about Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. Slaps and Beans Part 2 was released, and I played it a lot. I like it. It's a cool side-scroll beat 'em up mixed with other game styles. And as I said, those movies, they are cult classics here in Europe. Was always, let me say, yeah, for back in the day, a family-friendly fun to watch it. Yes, of course, they had this comic violence in it. It was always synchronized with funny noises, so you know what happens in the movie couldn't happen in real life. But yeah, I grew up with these movies, and I still love it. I tried once with my wife to watch one movie with her child, and she, yeah, it is what it is. She's young and she don't grew up with it, so she doesn't understand the humor of this movie and why we so are addicted to that. But as I said, a great cool game. The next game I want to talk about is a game I looked forward when I heard it, and I laughed a lot when I read the game description. It was back in the day like the Mohun games, a very simple PC game. Today you would say it's a flash game. There was once this black sheep, and on his mission to make the female sheeps happy. And this was called Sven Baumwollen, so translated Sven Cotton. Okay, and it got a sequel. It's called, in German, it's yeah, of course, it's a little bit spicy description for what he does in the game. It's really a simple game. You have to make the sheeps happy as a sheep, and don't get catched by the dog or the farmer. When I heard a little coffee, when I heard who is behind this production, I was scared. I really was scared, because they did once a fundraiser, and it's the publisher Markt and Technik, Marketplace and Technik, in German original Markt und Technik. They released a fundraiser. Maybe I'll do a special one day about that game, because I watched it. I played it, I watched it, this fundraiser. It's called Racer. You can buy it for 13 bucks. I bought it for 13 bucks. Nowadays it's even cheaper. The physics are not good. Okay, it's cheap. But the graphic, for little children, I think they look horrible. I had nightmares about those eyes and those faces, and it's really a bad game. I always saying this game Racer is a game, if you wanna say to something, I hate you, I don't like you at all, and I wish you only the worst, you can buy this game for cheap and give it as a present. And if someone out there will ever send me this game, on the reason he doesn't know that I already had it, I know this person, I made something completely wrong, cause he hates me. It is really bad. But now, back to good games. Also, what I, of course, played a lot, since I modded one cap for PlayStation 3, is Legends of Wrestlemania. It contains 40 old school wrestlers with managers, and yeah, has this sometimes this quick time event reaction elements in it, but it's cool. From the Hulkster to Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the British Bulldog, there are a lot of old school wrestlers in it. Nowadays you will find this game, or would find this game, for cheap. Sadly, Macho Man Randy Savage, one of my favorites, are not in this game, but it has an editor and you can make some characters look alike. Also very special in this game is, if you have on the PlayStation 3 SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 as well, you can import the cast of the other game to this game, and you have a total of 80 wrestlers, and it makes a lot of fun. You have so much match variations in it, from single to tag team, Survivor Series, ladder match, the Rumble is in it, I'm not quite sure right now, a cage match also, I'm not quite sure. But as I said, it also contains some managers. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart is in it, Bobby the Brain Heenan is in it, Paul Bearer is in it, and Mr. Fuji. And they react and helps their counterpart in the ring when it gets close. A game that surprised me. I bought it for cheap as Japanese version. The European versions are expensive. It is the game Sky Target, and it is a 3D polygonal Afterburner ripoff. If you don't expect too much of it, you will have a great time with this game. I had it, and for back in the day it looks very cool. Of course, I also played a lot of Sega Rally. A quick round here, a quick round there. It's always fun. It's, what should I say more about this game? In my opinion, the Saturn version is the best one. And you get this game very easy and very cheap. Even European versions, 20 bucks, 30 bucks. You don't have to calculate much for this game if you don't have it. Japanese, even the Japanese version even is cheaper, and it is a racing game. You can play it in any version of the game. You understand what you have to do in this game. I mentioned it. The Saturn version is, in my opinion, the best. There was, of course, a version for the Game Boy Advance, but had not that much to do with the original game. On the Dreamcast, the second part isn't that great as well. It's a cool sequel, but not so cool like the original. And on the PlayStation 2 was in Japan a conversation released of this version of the game. But yeah, the access to a Japanese PlayStation or a Japanese game running PlayStation isn't that cheap. So with a region code adapter or even, as I said, the European version, it's very common, and if you don't have it, you would miss something out. So, of course, also the next game is a Saturn game, and of course I'm playing it a lot this year, or played it a lot, Outrun. The Japanese version special is expensive in my experience, because in America there was this compilation Sega HS Volume 1 with Outrun, Space Harrier and Afterburn on it, and it's very expensive over there. The European version is a little bit cheaper, but not really cheap. It's not so much expensive. Resellers will sell you the game maybe for 80-90 bucks. Take a look, take your time and find a cheap copy on a garage sale or yard sale, or as we call it, on a flea market. Maybe you found a copy of Outrun for the Saturn, but special, I made a special about this game, is that it has another soundtrack on it, a new arranged soundtrack as well. That leads me straight now to the point. Maybe you realized that I created some playlists. If you want to watch more of my videos in the time when I'm not around, I made a playlist for the Mega CD year 93, 94, 95 and the wordplay at the special where I have single games reviewed or shown to you, and on Outrun I have, as I said, a special about it. Also on Manx TT Superbike, but it's not on this pile right now. If I would show you every game that I played this year, the list, the show, today's show would go on and on. But also, of course, and also only as an example, on my pile this year, Killer Instinct, the Xbox One version, the new version. Why? Because with this version I could download on my Xbox One Part 1 and 2 the classic arcade games as well. But from time to time I played the new game also. And the next game brings me a lot of good memories, a lot of fun, and some funny twists. Crazy Taxi. My version on the Dreamcast doesn't boot up anymore. My Dreamcast is old. Sometimes I think it's older than me. What's impossible is impossible. But yeah, I can play it, emulate it on an arcade 1-up, or on practically every arcade 1-up that I have. But this version is cool for two reasons. Also on this arcade 1-up I can play it, this version. I also have the PlayStation 3 download version with the newer sound, but to play the game legally, easily, with Bad Religion and Offspring in the radio is cool, is awesome, and yeah, fits perfect. Sadly, copyright and licensing issues avoid me for showing you this game, this version with the original sound. Also, once again, a cheat game. I'm pretty sure it's not in the original case. I loved it on the Dreamcast, bought it for $10 for the PlayStation 2 this year. I mean, there are many YouTubers saying, yeah, retro game collecting is in the year 2022 or in the year 23 or in the year 24 sucks cause the prices rises. You found a game, a copy of a game, it's maybe not in the blue shelf, in the blue case, but it runs perfect, makes the same fun. Not every game has to be mint or new or VGA or VATA graded. That is a topic of itself, this VATA and VGA ratings. I think that really sucks, because I open it up anywhere. I don't need a sealed copy. I'm a gamer, I want to play the game. Now, before I come to the last game, I come to the second last game of this little fireside chat. Of course, as a Sega fan, Daytona USA, I have a version on the PlayStation 3 downloaded. It's not long downloadable. I saw it also was once downloadable on the Xbox One over the 360 download shop, but there's no access anymore. But Daytona USA, the original start game from the start lineup of the Saturn, I love the most. You have these two modes, arcade and Saturn. In Saturn you have more cars. It has its issues with the graphics, but it has the Arcadia graphics. Then the sequel, the special championship circuit edition. And yeah, if you have it at your home somewhere in the basement or the attic, grab it. Or if you found a cheap copy, and you will find a cheap copy of this game, it was very common. If you don't have a Saturn, as a Sega fan, I would recommend you to buy one, but I don't tell you what you have to do. Now this game, maybe I'll do a special about it. It brought me a lot of fun. I have it also on the PlayStation 3, and there are some differences. Maybe I'll do a special about one day about these differences. But for this episode, I just wanna say it clearly. The move controllers for the PlayStation 3 looks silly. The zapper for the Wii or the Wii U looks okay. The sensor bar, the technique to aim your gun, also didn't look that crappy on an arcade one-up or a tally, especially on an arcade one-up. Okay. Because you have only this slide bar, black or grey, you barely can't see it. But a camera on top, you would see it from this side. Okay, back to the game that I talking about. I played a lot of light gun games, as I mentioned, Zapper, and I played it many hours. The House of the Dead, Overkill. It has a very cheesy story. It has a very, let me say, strange ending. But I played it a lot. It brought me a lot of fun. It's a cool game. Shoot at you will. It's of course a game that is rated for 18 and higher. Of course, zombies, violence, shootings. Yeah, it's not a children's game like Duck Hunt, but yeah, brought me a lot of fun. So, and that was it for this week's episode of the Lazy Video Gamer Show. I hope you enjoyed it. My coffee mug is almost empty. And so I have to say to you, have a fantastic week, a fantastic month, a fantastic time. I wish you all out there in Videoland blessed holidays, and I hope you see me soon after the holidays and my time off. Of course, I will keep you on track with even shorter videos about my status of those orders and cancellations and whatever from Playmarchi and worldwide distribution. Once I had a chat in the commentaries where I'm not quite sure. He had some information about that the Polymega will get somehow involved with Atari. And I said back then, Atari, an Atari module wouldn't be for me a thing, and isn't for me a thing. The Atari was before my time, and even a Game Boy module makes, in my opinion, no sense, cause I don't buy a system who costs more than a PlayStation 5 to emulate games with 4 grey colors. And I can live good without playing Tetris for the Game Boy in the Minuet version. For those who don't know what the Minuet version is, it is the first charge, the first bunch of games, the first production line of the Japanese original who have another music in it. It's not the famous Tetris music as we love and know. But it was back in the year, or maybe last year, I bought this Game Boy cartridge, especially with this version to have it, and I kept the module and I had it on my other clone system that I'm still a little bit missing. And once again, have a fantastic time. Don't forget, the game is never over. And enjoy your games. I'm just a lazy video gamer, even too lazy to make a new intro.